Hi friends, it's Jasmine, your Vancouver, Washington Realtor extraordinaire. If you're planning a move to Clark County or anywhere across the Portland Metro, I'd love to be your guide. I work with buyers, sellers, and relocation clients from all over the country, and I'm here to help you find the right home in the right neighborhood with total confidence. Whether you're just starting your search or ready to hit the ground running, feel free to call, text, or email me, or fill out my buyer questionnaire linked down below so we can get started together. Today, we're talking about one of the most confusing and most important parts of house hunting in this area, school districts. Because here in Vancouver, Washington, the boundaries are anything but simple. In fact, the school district you land in might be completely different from what you expected, even if your address says Vancouver. Some homes that look like they're in Camas are actually zoned for Washougal schools. Some listings in Ridgefield might be part of Battleground School District. And two houses on the same block can be in entirely different school zones with very different reputations, enrollment numbers, and resale impact. That's why this video is going to walk you through everything you need to know. We'll talk about which school districts cover which area, what makes them different, how school zoning affects your home value and lifestyle, and the red flags I always look for when touring properties with clients. Even if you don't have kids in school, this is still essential information because school districts influence buyer demand, market competitiveness, and your long-term investment. So if you've ever asked yourself, is Camas really worth the higher price tag? Or how can I be sure what district a listing falls into? Or even, which neighborhoods are best for long-term appreciation? This video is for you. And if you're ready to start your search and want to make sure you're looking in the right areas from day one, let's connect. I'd be honored to help you navigate it all, and you can call, text, email me, or head to the buyer questionnaire link below to take the first step. Let's get into it. When people first start looking at homes in Vancouver, they're often surprised to find that there's not just one Vancouver school district. In fact, depending on where you're looking in Clark County, your home could fall into one of 6 major public school districts, all with very different reputations, boundaries, and impacts on home values. These aren't always tied to city names, and many overlap or cut through neighborhoods in unexpected ways. That's why understanding the school district landscape is one of the most important parts of buying smart in Southwest Washington. Let's start with Vancouver Public Schools, VPS. This district covers Central and West Vancouver, including parts of downtown, Lincoln, Fruit Valley, Arnada, and the more established neighborhoods north of Highway 14 and west of I-205. Vancouver Public is one of the oldest districts in the county, serving over 20,000 students across nearly 40 schools. Some areas within VPS have great walkability and access to programs like IB or dual language, but as with any large district, performance can vary widely school by school. Homes in this district tend to be in older neighborhoods, think mid-century ranches, bungalows, and some infill development, and pricing can be more affordable than neighboring areas like Camas or Ridgefield. Next is Evergreen Public Schools, which serves a huge swath of East Vancouver, including Orchards, Five Corners, Landover Charmel, Cascade Park, and parts of Fisher's Landing. It's actually the second largest school district in the entire state of Washington, with over 23,000 students. Evergreen covers many of the newer neighborhoods in East Clark County and is known for its diverse student population and wide range of programs. You'll find everything from brand new subdivisions to 1980s planned communities here. Evergreen schools can vary quite a bit in terms of test scores and parent reviews, so if you're buying in this district, it's especially important to look at the specific school assignment by address, not just the district name. Then we have the Camas School District, which often comes up as the top-rated district in Clark County. Camas is located east of Vancouver, just across the river from Troutdale and Gresham, Oregon. This district has earned a strong reputation for academic excellence, athletics, and community engagement, and it consistently ranks at the top of the niche.com and greatschools.org for Washington State. Because of that, homes in Camas tend to command a premium. It's not uncommon to see homes in the same size or style selling for $50K to $100K more than neighboring districts. But here's the catch. Not every home with a Camas mailing address is actually in the Camas School District. Some are zoned for Washougal or even Evergreen. So again, it's vital to verify. Just east of Camas is the Washougal School District, which serves the city of Washougal and parts of rural Clark County. Washougal is smaller and more scenic, nestled between the Columbia River Gorge and the Cascade foothills. It offers a quieter, more nature-connected lifestyle, but with fewer schools and slightly more limited resources than some of the larger districts. That said, many families love the smaller class sizes and community feel. Homes in Washougal are often more affordable than in Camas, and you'll find a mix of new construction suburban, custom homes, and properties on acreage, especially east of town. If you're looking for space and don't mind a bit of a commute, this district is worth considering. To the north, we have the Ridgefield School District, which is growing fast and gaining lots of attention from buyers relocating from Oregon and California. Ridgefield is one of the fastest growing cities in Washington, and the district is expanding to keep up with demand. Ridgefield schools are newer, highly rated, and benefit from a tight-knit community feel. The high school is gorgeous, and there's a strong sense of pride in local academics and sports. Homes here range from brand new subdivisions with large lots to custom builds on the outskirts. If you want a newer home, strong schools, and a more suburban to rural blend, Ridgefield is a strong contender. Finally, we have the Battleground School District, which spans a large chunk of northern Clark County, including the cities of Battleground and parts of Brush Prairie, Hawkinson, and even rural Ridgefield. This district covers both suburban and rural areas and offers a wide range of housing options, from tract homes to farm homes to full-on acreage properties. Battleground schools tend to have solid reputations with a strong focus on trades, AG programs, and practical pathways. Many buyers who want space to breathe or to escape the city choose this district, especially if they're looking for a shop, ADU potential, or multi-generational living. What's tricky is that these districts don't always follow clear geographic lines. You could be just a few blocks over and find yourself in a completely different district, which is why I always encourage clients to use the district address lookup tools or ask me to confirm it before writing an offer. You don't want to assume based on a Zillow listing or a real estate sign. Those can be outdated or misleading. Now let's talk about why school districts are such a big deal, not just for families with kids, but for anyone buying or selling real estate in Clark County. Because here's the truth, school districts are one of the most consistent drivers of property value, buyer demand, and long-term resale potential, whether you're factoring test scores or not. For buyers with kids, of course, school performance, ratings, extracurriculars, and class sizes can be the deciding factor in which homes make the cut. But even for those without children, districts can impact how quickly a home sells, how competitive the market is, and how stable prices stay over time. In areas like Camas, for example, the school district is part of what creates a steady stream of buyer interest, and that keeps home values strong even when the broader market cools. On the flip side, being zoned for a less desirable district, or just being unclear about your school assignment, can create hesitation for future buyers when it's time to sell. If there's confusion about which schools serve your address, or if the district's reputation is inconsistent, you may face a longer time on market or need to adjust your pricing strategy to compensate. There's also the emotional factor. Many out-of-state buyers relocating to Clark County, especially from places like California or Oregon, are used to school districts that match city boundaries or that are clearly labeled in MLS listings. That's not always the case here. In Vancouver, the district map is a true patchwork, and assumptions based on mailing addresses can get you into trouble. It's one of the reasons I always do extra due diligence for my clients, confirming school zones, looking at neighborhood turnover, and weighing the long-term implications of each location. School districts can also influence property taxes, bond measures, and even zoning or development trends. For example, newer districts like Ridgefield may pass bonds to fund new schools as the population grows, and that can attract builders, shift zoning, and drive up values in previously overlooked areas. In short, school districts shape more than just education. They shape entire neighborhood dynamics, buyer psychology, and long-term investment health. Whether you're buying your forever home or planning to sell in a few years, understanding how school zoning intersects with real estate is key to making a smart move. So how do you actually research and compare school districts in Clark County, especially when boundaries aren't always clear? The key is to use a combination of mapping tools, on-the-ground insight, and neighborhood context, not just national websites or hearsay. Too many buyers rely on a quick search from sites like Zillow or Redfin, but those platforms often use outdated or generalized data, and they can easily mislabel the district entirely. First and foremost, I always recommend buyers use the school district address lookup tools provided by the districts themselves. Both Evergreen and Vancouver Public Schools have online lookup portals where you can enter a property address and get an official confirmation of which schools it's zoned for. Camas, Ridgefield, Battleground, and Washougal all offer similar resources, and I'm happy to help pull that data for any home you're considering. Once you know the exact school assignment, the next step is to go beyond test scores. Sites like greatschools.org or niche.com can give you a baseline, but they don't always tell the whole story. They might emphasize test data without accounting for program offerings, student diversity, community engagement, or school culture. That's why I always encourage my clients to consider the bigger picture. Are there magnet programs, advanced placement tracks, dual language options, or strong arts or athletic departments? Are there active parent organizations? What's the local buzz? And do the schools seem to be improving or declining over time? Another important angle to consider is future development. Are you buying in a district that's expected to grow, like Ridgefield, and may need to build new schools or rezone boundaries in the coming years? Or are you buying in an area where enrollment is declining and programs might be at risk of being consolidated or cut? Understanding these dynamics can help you make a smarter long-term investment, especially if resale is part of your strategy. For buyers without kids, it's still worth choosing a home in a district with a solid reputation. You might not be thinking about school runs or graduation rates now, but your future buyers probably will be, and that makes a difference in terms of resale timeline, negotiation leverage, and overall buyer demand. I've seen homes in Camas or Ridgefield get multiple offers, while similar homes in less known districts sit longer, purely based on school perception. Finally, don't overlook how schools influence the feel of a neighborhood. Some areas buzz with after-school sports and family events, while others are quieter or more geared towards older residents. That culture can impact your daily life, your sense of community, and even your traffic patterns. If you're unsure what kind of vibe you're looking for, that's something we can talk through together. Because the right school zone is often more than academics, it's about lifestyle alignment too. Let's talk about some of the most common mistakes I see buyers make when it comes to school districts in Clark County and how to avoid them. The first big one, assuming the mailing city matches the school district. Just because a home says Camas, Washington, doesn't mean it's in Camas School District. In fact, some Camas addresses are zoned for Washougal or Evergreen, and this can lead to serious disappointment if a buyer thinks they're getting access to a top-ranked school district, only to find out mid-escrow that it's something else entirely. The reverse is also true. Some homes with Vancouver mailing addresses are in Ridgefield or battleground districts, which could be a huge win depending on your goals. Another mistake, relying solely on test scores. Test data is only one piece of the puzzle, and it often misses what makes a school great for a particular child or family. I've had clients dismiss an area entirely based on a 6 out of 10 rating, only to later realize that school offers small class sizes, strong music programs, or a thriving parent community that aligns perfectly with their values. A 9 out of 10 school might look great on paper, but if it's overcrowded, highly competitive, or missing the programs your child needs, that rating doesn't mean much. Third, some buyers focus too much on top schools and end up overpaying for a home that doesn't meet their actual lifestyle needs. I've seen families stretch their budget to get into Camas or Hawkinson, only to realize the commute is too far, the yard is too small, or they don't need that kind of academic pressure. School district is important, but so is overall quality of life. The right fit balances both. And finally, a big one is not verifying school boundaries during the offer stage. It's heartbreaking to fall in love with a house and later find out that school assignment wasn't what you thought. I always confirm zoning before writing offers for my clients, and I recommend every buyer do the same, especially if schools are a top priority. Now let's flip the script for a minute and talk to sellers and investors. Because school districts aren't just a buyer concern, they can dramatically impact your pricing strategy, marketing plan, and resale trajectory. If you're a seller in a top-rated district like Camas, Hawkinson, or Ridgefield, you have a huge opportunity to leverage that in your listing narrative. Make sure your agent is highlighting the district in the description, using it as a keyword in marketing, and emphasizing it in video, photo captions, and open house conversations. I've seen listings get more views and higher quality traffic simply by calling out the right district up front. For sellers in more average or mixed performance districts, like certain zones of Evergreen or Battleground, it's even more important to highlight your home's other strengths. Maybe it's walkability, a quiet cul-de-sac, extra space for homeschooling, or proximity to private or charter options. You want to acknowledge the district honestly, but shift the spotlight to what makes your home stand out. Investors should also pay attention to renter demand and school calendars. In many parts of Clark County, families prefer long-term leases that align with the school year. A property in a solid school district might rent faster and have lower turnover, especially if it's close to a bus stop or school campus. On the flip side, homes in less family-oriented zones might attract different tenants, like young professionals, retirees, or traveling nurses, so your pricing and amenities should reflect that. And finally, if you're planning to flip or hold a property for resale, remember that school district trends can shift. Bond measures, new construction, or school closures can can all affect your timeline and appreciation potential. A local agent, like yours truly, can help you track these shifts and plan accordingly. So whether you're buying your very first home, relocating from out of state, upsizing for a growing family, or planning a strategic sale, understanding how school districts work in Clark County is one of the smartest moves you can make. The lines here aren't always obvious, the rankings don't tell the whole story, but with the right guidance and local insight, you can find the district and the home that fits your life, your goals, and your future. If you have questions about a specific neighborhood, school boundaries, or how districts could impact your resale value, I'd love to help. I work with buyers and sellers all across Vancouver, Camas, Ridgefield, Battleground, and beyond, and I'm here to give you honest, clear, hyper-local advice so you can move forward with confidence. You can call me, text me, or email me anytime, and if you're thinking about making a move, don't forget to fill out my buyer questionnaire or seller questionnaire linked down below. That's always the best first step, and it helps me tailor my support to exactly what you're looking for. And before you go, I'd love to know, what's your biggest question or concern when it comes to school districts in Southwest Washington? Drop it in the comments below. I'm always happy to share insight or point you in the right direction. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!